We're going to talk with, we got the visual and everything. It's comedian Jeff Foxworthy. Hey, Jeff, I didn't realize you were going to be in the big screen.
I do what they tell me to do, except call in for my interview on Tuesday. I come in here doing the walk of shame this morning.
It's okay. It's all right.
You are lucky that we're having you back on.
You guys have always been so wonderful to me, but I've hit that age. I'm still pretty good, but don't knock me off my mark. And that morning began with my youngest daughter calling me going, I have no idea where my babysitter is. She was supposed to be here 15 minutes ago. I've got to take the oldest one to school, and I need you to babysit the youngest one. And so when you hop up in the bed with your hair on fire, and then a little while later, I get a text, did you miss an interview?
It's okay. It's all right.
Yes. So I'll come wash your car, cut your grass, whatever.
It's all right. It's all right. Jeff Foxworthy is our guest. Is this correct that you're going to be doing a show in Vegas coming up tomorrow?
Coming up tomorrow, yeah. It's National Finals Rodeo. So they've been bringing me to Vegas for the rodeo for about 35 years in a row. They're like, all right, these people wear blue jeans and they spit a lot. Let's get Jeff this week.
All right. Yeah, it says it's the Pearl Concert Theater at the Palms Casino Resort.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Have you ever been out to Vegas during Christmas time, though? It's just bizarre.
No.
Nothing to me says happy birthday, Jesus, like watching Granny on a rascal scooter smoke a cigarette and play 3 slot machines simultaneously.
Yeah, true meaning of the season.
If there's a better way to celebrate the birth of our Lord, I don't know what it is.
We're speaking with comedian Jeff Foxworthy. I've asked you this before, but I couldn't remember the answer. Have you had the mustache since the day you got out of high school?
I actually started it the summer between my junior and senior year of high school and had it continuously. And then when COVID hit, all of a sudden I wasn't working. And I thought, God, my wife and I have been married for 35 years. She's never seen me without it. I'm obviously not working for months. How long does it take to grow it back? And so I quietly went in, cut it off, shaved it, and didn't say anything and walked back out. And she didn't even notice at first. And about 10 minutes later, she looked at me and she goes, oh, wow, grow it back. Since the 11th grade, I have shaved my lip one time.
Wow. Wow. Do you have any photos of that?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Well, you don't have to get it right now, but if you do, I'd kind of like to see it. That's interesting. I know that Bob has had his since the day he graduated from high school. It's never been gone.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
Not one time?
No. And he even has a birthday for it.
Mm-hmm. June sometime.
When he graduated from high school.
Yep.
Wow. Big news in the world of football, kind of down your way. It looks like Belichick is going to be heading to North Carolina. I'm just kind of wondering, does Tom Brady still have any college eligibility, Chick? Have you?
I don't think so.
Wouldn't that be great?
that was no. Tom played in the age when people actually, went to the same school for 4 years.
Yeah.
In a row.
Yes. Did he graduate from Michigan? Did he finally?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just asking. That'd be really funny, though, wouldn't it? With Belichick going to college.
Stetson Bennett was at Georgia for 6 years, and he didn't graduate.
Yep. Wow. Now, we've been talking about purchasing gifts and how difficult it is. And this is a yes or no question. Do you have a gift for your wife already?
I have 5 gifts for my wife and a card already signed and sealed. Oh. And I'm not bragging. I just did really well this year. I've been ready for like 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice.
And here's what I would say to guys is, because nobody, and I used to do a bit about this, I was like, no man ever thinks, we're always the one that's in CVS at 9 o'clock on Christmas Eve going, hey, Bob, you think my old lady likes some vitamins? But what I used to do was when I was on the road constantly, if I ever saw something and I thought, oh, my wife would like this, I would buy it then, even if it was February, and I put it in a drawer. And so that way, if a birthday or an anniversary or Christmas came up and you needed something, you weren't just going out and buying vitamins or a bathrobe. You had something there that you knew she would like.
Right. Yeah.
And so I had the drawer forever, but it's kind of depleted now.
But you're prepared.
And you kind of get to the age where, I don't know about you, there's nothing I want. And so, you know, when my kids say, Dad, what do you want? I'm like, nothing. Look at the shelf behind me. I don't need one more thing in life. I've got too much crap now.
And what is on those? What are on those shelves? What is that stuff?
Baseballs?
Yeah. A lot of signed baseballs.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll like this, chick. So for years, if I was doing the Tonight Show or if I was hosting an award show, I'd just throw baseballs in a backpack and I'd take baseballs with me. If I was doing the Grand Ole Opry, I'd throw a baseball in a pack. And I would get whoever it was to sign a baseball.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And so, like, there's a section over here that's only comedians, and it's got, like, Bob Hope, Milton Berle, Johnny Carson, Richard Pryor,
oh my God,
George Carlin,
Whoa.
all on baseballs. And then if you go over to that side, it might be NFL play. Like, I asked Johnny Unitas to sign a baseball. He's like, you know I played football, right? I said, I know, but I just get everybody on a baseball. And so it's kind of eclectic and weird, you know. But
that's fantastic. That's great.
And then I have one of my hobbies is looking for arrowheads and Native American artifacts. So I got like some of those on the shelf.
Oh. Are you still bow hunting?
I am. I actually got a really good deer 3 or 4 days ago. My goal is I want to be able at the age of 70 to still climb 25 feet up in a tree and shoot a Pope and Young, like, record book deer at the age of 70 with a bow and arrow. Wow. So I'm 66 now, so I got it. I did it the other day, but I got to keep
All right.
going.
Did you ever go turkey hunting?
All turkeys look alike to me. I do it, but it doesn't get my blood pumping the same as.
What do you mean? It's like a personal thing to hunt. You need one certain turkey. What the hell? Oh, there's that bald son of a.
You know,
go ahead.
Most outdoorsmen have one thing that just turns their crank. You know, whether it's duck hunting or turkey hunting or whatever. So, I just like chasing things with a stick and a string. And actually, a lot of times I don't even take the arrows. I just have so many girls that it's just real quiet up in a tree. And
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I get that.
I bet so. Yeah.
Do you ever think of when you're out there, do you ever think of a really great idea for a comedy piece, and then when you get back, you've forgotten it?
That sounds like every day of my life. No, in fact, I tell people, because I really feel like I remember when I was starting out in comedy and the people that helped me. So I really feel like a sense of mentorship when it comes to stand-up. And that's the number one thing that I will tell young comics. I'm like, you have an idea. I said, I don't care if you have to pull in the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, pull over, write it down, put it in notes on your phone. You know, my whole life is note cards and a pen, but because you swear you're going to remember it. And for some reason, I think of most of my material after I turn off the light, but before I go to sleep. And so I have a pad next to the bed with a pen on top of it, and I've learned to write in the dark enough to at least be able to read it. And I have a pad on my bathroom counter. I bet I think of 70% of things I do in the shower. And so I learned to get, and actually it was one time I was fortunate enough to meet Bruce Springsteen after one of his shows. And that's what I wanted to ask him about was writing. And I said, okay, I've got 2 questions. I said, one, how can a 20-year-old write lyrics like young girl sitting on the hood of a Dodge drinking warm beer in the soft summer rain? I said, nobody 20 should be able to write that sentence. And he was like, I want to write stuff I wasn't going to be embarrassed singing 30 years down the road. And I'm like, okay, mission accomplished on that.
Yeah.
And I said, when do you write the most? And he was like, I don't know. I think of most lyrics in the shower. So what is it about the shower? Because I've spent 40 years coming out of the shower looking at my wife going, is this funny? And she goes, yeah. It's funny.
That's great.
But there's something about the shower that frees your brain up. I don't know
it's warm. You're in there by yourself, just thinking. And when you were coming up, was it as a kid? You're the right age. You probably had vinyl. So was there a particular vinyl album that you played over and over and over and over?
There was a lot of them.
In the world of comedy, particularly.
Yeah, I was always drawn to stand-up. Now, I had an uncle that was kind of special needs that loved comedy, and so he would buy them, and he got me buying them, and I would save my allowance, and we had a collection of comedy records, and you can't say his name now, but Cosby, I think I had every album Cosby ever did. Which is very interesting because obviously what Bill did in his life away from the stage was terrible. But you can't even talk about Cosby being a stand-up anymore. And Cosby was one of the greatest stand-ups that ever lived.
Yeah, Why Is There Air was one of the great records of all time.
Great record, yeah. And which I don't understand that because we still play Michael Jackson songs every day on the radio, but so it was Cosby, it was Newhart, it was Flip Wilson. And then as I got more into teenage years and got headphones, it was Carlin and Pryor. But I would, like as a kid, I would buy those records and I'd memorize them. I'd play them over and over and over and memorize them. And then I would go to school and just do them and make everybody laugh. But it never occurred to me this was something I could do for a living. Yeah. I grew up in a blue-collar town. You went to work doing something hard.
Yeah, you mentioned Flip Wilson. He always kind of gets forgotten. He was brilliant. I just thought
there was a time there where the Flip Wilson show was must-watch TV. Geraldine.
And, I don't know how he got
kind of passed over.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. Are there any early Southern comedians that influenced you?
My granddad had 2 Jerry Clower records. And so I would go over to my granddad's house. I'm very close with my grandparents and listen to Clower. What a sweet man. What a nice guy. But like I said, it never dawned on me that this was a career option, which is like I do a podcast on our show called A Comic Mind. And kind of the reason I wanted to do it was to kind of show people that might think this is what they could do for a living. Okay, you're not crazy, and this is how comics think, and this is how you do it. And it's funny because if you want to be an actor, you go to acting school. If you want to be a musician, you go to music school. There's no comedy school. The way you learn to be a comic is hang out around comedy and comedians. That's how you learn to be a comic. Well, and I do believe it is a special gift, and I treasure it. I feel like I won the lottery because it was the gift that I got, because I don't know why I can do it, but I think you're born with it.
Yeah. Did you ever listen to any of the song comedy guys like Alan Sherman and Hello Mutta, Hello Fata and all of that?
I remember, golly, I haven't thought of that in 40 years.
Most people have.
Yeah, most people have it.
It really is.
It's one of Tom's favorites. He mentions it almost
You're not wrong. You're not wrong,
daily.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Here I am, Camp Granada.
It was
that's
classic. It was
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Well, Jeff Foxworthy's on his way to Las Vegas. He's got another gig coming up in February in a place called Fishers, Indiana.
Well, someday goddamn guy. What's his name, Tom?
Reno Collier, I think. And then at the Performing Arts Center, is it Bologna Performing Arts Center in March in Cleveland, Mississippi?
Yeah.
All right. And do you have a lot of
kind of fun. I've reached that point in my career now where it's an evening with. You know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And people will come up and say, "Hey, will you tell the thing about the time you saw your grandmother naked?" And how did it start? I mean, that was 30 years ago. So,
no.
But I still love it. I still love doing it.
Let me real quick. You do a lot more than the famous Redneck setup. Do you remember the first one of those that you did? Was it something you just did on stage, or had you been planning it for a long time?
I had found, because I was always wearing jeans, wearing boots. I drove a truck. I'm driving all over the country doing clubs, but I found that they were always kidding me, and so I was playing in a place in Livonia, Michigan, a little comedy club. And after the show, it was November, and I said, "Dang it, I should be sitting in a tree in the morning." And they're laughing at me, and they're going, "Foxworthy, you're nothing but an old redneck from Georgia." And the club we were playing in was attached to a bowling alley that had valet parking. And I said, if you don't think you have rednecks in Michigan, go look out the window. People are valet parking at the bowling alley.
Oh, that's classic.
And I remember walking back to the hotel, and I didn't think it was going to be a hook or a book or calendars or anything. I'm just trying to write stand-up. And I thought, all right, how would you know if you were redneck? The first one I wrote was, "If your mother keeps a spit cup on the ironing board." And I think the second one was, "If your family tree does not fork."
That's great.
And I had them on like a yellow sheet of notebook paper. And years later, my wife found that in a drawer, that sheet of paper, and she framed it and she put it next to the front door of the house. It's this
wow, that's great.
faded, stained yellow piece of notebook paper. And I'm like, "Why did you frame that?" And she goes, "It paid for the house."
Yeah. And she was probably looking for those presents you've been hiding in the drawers all these years. Jeff Foxworthy,
right?
Always a great pleasure, Jeff. Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck this holiday season, and a lot of folks will be seeing you in Vegas at the Pearl Concert Theater tomorrow night.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
And again, I appreciate you guys so much and all you've ever done for me and for so many comedians. So please accept my apology for
not a problem.
We love
being negligent the other day.
We're good. Just never let it happen again.
Merry Christmas, y'all. Thank
Merry
you for
Christmas
having
to you, Jeff.
All right.